Hey everybody, welcome back to a Blake Scholar Magic video. I did want to build the Ninja Turtle deck, the new Ninja from Jumpstart. He's really cool, and but it's just a lot of the cards there are just like been altered, so it's really tough to kind of gauge like, you know, like the power of it, and if I can like, I'll probably still build it in paper. What's to say, but I won't get to like play test it very much because it's just the cards are just warped to a degree where it's kind of, you don't really get a feel for the deck as much as you probably should. So that's unfortunate. But there is like a midweek brawl challenge going on. And it kind of just like, I did see one of the cards was Dracuseth. So if you're not familiar with Dracuseth, Dracuseth is this nasty dragon. And you can play Dracuseth, and you can definitely do it. But the thing about when you play dragons is that you need to have a way for them to attack. Usually they get they sometimes they have enter the battlefield triggers. That's true. Some of them have attack triggers, such as this, the Dracuseth. It does its best when it's attacking. Otherwise, some dragons do well when they have combat damage. So it's kind of just a mixed bag there. But Dracuseth is great. I mean, you can see it just spreads out a lot of damage. It does a thing. It just does a lot of crowd control. But the thing is if it sits, it's a sits, and you don't really want it to sit. It can get removed, right? So you want to make sure you have your best chance to get it out there and attacking. So, what are some ways that, like, for Meria to get that kind of job done? So first you want to kind of, you know, fit that into your game plan for sure, right? So we definitely want like a Lava Spur Boots type effects, because these also produce mana, so you could just see this as kind of like a land, right? Just slide it over here. This is just like another, like, or maybe even like a Mana Dork. You can actually see it more like a Mana Dork is probably more appropriate. So basically this could be a Mana Dork with Meria, and also can be an equip that hastes. So we do like that. She should probably be seeing some play in Standard now. I think she's got all the tools. I think you have Swiftfoot Boots too as well in Standard. So just these two cards alone with Meria are very good. We're going to keep finding some haste. I mean, Sting will give you the haste, but it is a 2 equip cost, which is a little bit more. And that's about that for the colorless. We can also just go like this in general, and you know, kind of look at the other haste enablers to see if we see. So you have like a Boots of Speed. I think you're pretty much like, if you're going to run a red artifact, you could do Red Rabbit Battery, which is also a creature that gets damage in. So that could be an option. Crimson Wisp is interesting. Just kind of like a cantrip. You know, just kind of gives you haste and you just draw. Kind of an interesting one, really. Kind of want to be selective and like make sure you're kind of filling in with artifacts though first, and then maybe consider some of those other ones. There's Rabbit Battery. You can even go, if you really wanted to narrow this search down, just go like Haste Artifact. So there's the Boots of Speed again. Honestly, not the worst for us, really, for what we want to do. Oh, you have the Dowsing Device. It's pretty good, but the thing is that this usually flips, and then you have to pay into it for giving your things haste, which is kind of annoying. But it does make a land, which is a good form of ramp. Probably one of your better options, to be honest. Urbrass Forge is always interesting too, you know, just kind of repeatable value that like is very pressure, lots of pressure. We won't need flying with this. We're going to have a lot of flyers if we're going to be playing dragons. If we're going to be playing dragons too, we're going to be putting gold span in for sure. Perforos. Oh, that's like a sneak attack type effect. And that's very good too. A little pricey though. Might just get a sneak attack. I think sneak attack is just like 1 red. It's like pshump. There you go. There's like a crashing drawbridge. Creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. Kind of gets the job done. I mean, if we don't have lightning greaves. How are we doing so far with haste? Pretty decent enough. And you're going to want it, trust me. I do like a Rhythm of the Wild. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Non-token creatures you control have Riot. Now, some of the dragons that we're going to... you can see these two have attack triggers, so... A card like Doors of Durin isn't going to be very good, but Doors of Durin is going to be good for some of our other dragons, so it's worth it. So if we just go to dragons now, we're going to fill up our deck with a bunch of dragons. How do we like this one? I think I like that. It's like basically like a hasty guy, right? You just get your creatures up to power 6 or greater while this attacks. It has menace too. And you can put down a dragon on the battlefield. Dragons love Invasion of Tarkir. Magda, it's not really. I know she's great in like desert, the builds, right? Like dedicated builds. Great for dwarves, right? Gadrak. Gadrak does turn on cards like the Great Henge. That is for certain. It's kind of like a penultimate Meria card, really, though. Because we do have so many artifacts. Yeah, this is a dragon. Phyrexian Dragon Edge. Sarkhan for the reduction. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors. Spends mana only to cast dragon spells. Swashbuck Extraordinary is also a dragon, which can grant double strike, so we do love that. Yep, Atsushi. That definitely makes the cut for dragons. How about Leyline Tyrant? Oops. You don't lose unspent red mana. Just a 4/4 flyer there. Hellkite, we're not going to be playing too many non-creature spells, but a very cool dragon nonetheless. Regent. Can draw a couple cards. If we find more Gruul cards, maybe. They're just like big dummies over here. Dracosaur, of course. Dragonhawk. There is a new dragon that I definitely wanted to pick up. He's or it is like a 4, maybe a 5 mana, like doubles your damage. Where is it? Hopefully it's a mythic, because I think that's what I have in wild cards. There it is. Twin Flame Tyrant. Perfect. If a source you would control would deal damage to an opponent, or a permanent opponent controls, it deals double that damage. Nice. Great one to playtest because it could be interesting to see how it goes. we'll just selectively get through these because we've already gone through the other ones as we are back and spend a wild card. So we picked up our Dragonhawk, Bonehorde Dracosaur. This one is just very good for getting some additional value when it enters or attacks. Some nice ones there. You can get some cards. Here we get to pick up a Terror. There's a Twin Flame Tyrant. And now I mentioned like the Doors of Durin, of course, loves the Ancient Copper Dragon. The card is spewed out from attacking, and then we get the, for instance, perhaps get an Ancient Copper Dragon going. That's fine. For this particular deck in a paper build, you're going to want to run the Worldly Tutor and the Sylvan Tutor, and probably Sylvan Library to help get these creatures to the top of your deck, so that when you do attack with Doors of Durin, you can selectively have them slam in. Inferno probably makes the cut for the dragon build on the Brawl queue. It does have that flying haste already, and it can just do a lot of damage in the air. But we can keep looking though. There's lots of dragons, guys. Balefire Dragon is a monster. This just requires a combat damage. Dragonstorm, I've tried it out before. Has Storm, you know. It's a tougher one. It's definitely a demanding one. The Bronze Dragon gets in there. Here's Old Gnawbone, of course. Earthquake Dragon is good. And then the Haragast. Is there any other dragons I'm missing out on? I feel like there's a couple. Steel Hellkite. That one's a really good one for Meria because it is an artifact too. Oh, that one's a great one. I'm just missing the action at the moment. I'm so broke. The Ventmaw, perfect. Now we're talking. Now we're talking, guys. These cards are all legal now. It's fantastic. If you're running Ventmaw, you have to run the whatchamacallit, it's called the Aggravated Assault. Yeah, this thing just loves extra combats, right? You just pump the mana into this thing over and over again, and you have your infinite combats. It's great. There you go. Because this thing upon attack just creates that much mana, just with a boss. There was really not too much more to do. It's just like a couple things that you need to kind of there's just some very good like mana dorks along the way, of course, that are just good. Hazard's okay too, really. It's like a bird. You just get these easy mana dork choices, and they're just worth it, all of them. Bloom Tender, no, not for us. Fanatic, yes. Caryatid, probably not. Balligad, maybe. Gwen is not too bad here. Meria should do a lot of the lifting, though. She really should. Thing about this girl, she gets knocked down. She gets shot at a lot. So, probably an Outcaster Trailblazer deck, though, for sure. Probably a Sylvala deck. Nisa. Disciple, Turn Timber, Vaultborn? No, we're just doing dragons. You're gonna definitely want like a Disciple of Fraley. Excuse me. Stump Stomp, Ruby. Domri. Anzrag, Escape to the Wilds, Savage Ventmaw, Roxy. Let's just get these while I'm here. You'll definitely want like the Incubator. It's probably like the number one card and probably like the main reason that you would run Meria in the first place is because she's like a double-double. And what I mean by that is that she enables cards by doing things to them which aren't usually done through other creatures or commanders. So, for instance, it's not typical that you find the ability to tap artifacts for uses other than what it says in the text. So, this card obviously is great because it reduces, like, you name dragon, and all your dragons are cheaper. That's good. What's also interesting about it, though, is that Meria will also tap this very, very artifact for a forest. And that type of effect is just not seen. It's just very unique. Usually this would just sit on your battlefield and it would do good for you. But with Meria, it also would add an additional mana. So it's basically like 3. It's like, for a single spell that you're casting, it's like providing like that 3 mana instead of just 2. And of course that's really good value. So there's also like the medallions that do this as well. So these are of course great, but they become even better because you can start tapping them for mana. And so it's like, now our aggravated assault is going to be reduced, and we're going to tap this for mana, so it's only going to be like really like paying for 1. It's going to like be that much more reduced. So that's like why this card is crazy. And it looks like we're getting most of the tools. Like this is like very much looking like the dragon deck that I might run. It has the Savage Ventmaw. It's missing a couple dragons here and there, but mostly it's kind of getting on track to reflecting kind of the dragon deck that I would run, which is cool. I like Fable because to copy dragons is better. We do want to have some sort of card advantage too built in, so the ring is fine. You also want Howling Mine. That's definitely a number 1 pick. So at the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. It's very good. Just basically denies our opponent's cards and grants us cards. Not really the best in your opener because you'll start giving cards to your opponent before Meria comes out. But like if that's your only 2-drop, so that is kind of unfortunate. But once Meria comes down, you can start tapping this down, and make sure you put on all your stops, and do so if you don't have any other things for priority, because it will skip your priority if you can't play any other spells on Arena. And of course, in your live gameplay, you won't have to worry about. You could just announce, okay, I'm tapping this down now, and then moving on to your opponent's turn. Okay. So yeah, obviously very good. Meria just goes ahead and says, hey, I can tap you, and if this is tapped, then my opponent won't get the extra card on draw step, and then we all untap together. When it's my turn, I untap all my things, and now because it's untapped, I get that additional card. So drawing an additional card on your draw step that early in the game is really good. Okay. Is there any other like cards that kind of do well to get us more cards and maybe kind of enable some other plans? I think the Bank Buster is pretty good. Before I go there, yeah, I'll just pick up the Bank Buster really quick. I like the Reckoner Bank Buster because it does have a little bit more power as well, and definitely helps us like for the Great Henge, maybe to cast the Great Henge a little bit earlier than we thought. So that's kind of a nice addition for that. I think Double Strike is kind of important, and I think you probably like the Lizard Blades to like give Double Strike to our dragons. Plus the swords, like all the swords that are available, that like kind of grant some sort of card advantage are pretty good for us. And they're colorless, so the Sword of Fire and Ice is good. And the Sword of Forge and Frontier is good. Okay, so like how are we going to protect Meria? We have the Lava Spirit boots, Swift Foot boots. Let's see if there's anything else. Like I think there's a couple artifacts that can grant like some protection, like the leather armor. Yeah, that one's fine because it's just 1 cost and it has equip 0, so we can still tap it for mana. Roaming Throne, probably just because to double our dragon effects. Seems really good. So that was a good pickup there. Definitely Roaming Throne was solid. We definitely picked up the sneak attack already. Have a nice variety of adding. Definitely want some like interaction, so Stomp is good. And yeah, Bridgeworks Battle. You definitely want like your big mana spells like Rishgar and Last March. A finisher doesn't hurt either, like a Crater Hoof. Probably be our honorary dragon. Is there? I mean, obviously a Signet is fine. And I'm probably like a Mox. Maybe let's get a Ragavan. And we'll pick up a Mox and we'll cut a land, and then we'll just say go to this, I think, after we pick up a Bolt and a Lightning Bolt. We'll make 2 cuts to land. We'll pick up some channel lands here, I think, and our multi-face land cards that are big spells. Sorry, channel. Good, and Smashing and Symbiosis. Oh, I got that already. Then we want our pay lands. Spire is good. We're running enough artifacts for Spire, for sure. And then Mycosynth. You want a Mycosynth just to copy stuff, which is kind of fun. And do we get our command tower already? And maybe just like a plaza. And I think we're pretty happy there. I think I pretty much picked up all the duels that I wanted to pick up. And that's how you make a dragon deck. I mean, easy peasy, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of freaking dragons on here. Oh, you know what I forgot though is Herald's Horn and the Patchwork Banner. I have all these cards like in a database in my head. Horn? Do I not have this card yet? Is it new? Oh no. Hey, it's an uncommon B. Yes. Give me that. Yeah, it's gonna reduce our dragons, and we can like reveal a dragon from the top of our deck on our upkeep. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal and put it into your hand. Yeah, we like that. And then a Patchwork Banner. I'm totally fine with cutting lands. I will not cut any cards. Because we're good. We're so good. Alright, dragon deck. We can do better. Interesting. Could go 1, 2, 2, equip. Yarick, are you scared? It's a minion of the mighty. They are scared. Kind of slowish, guys, but hopefully we can get an artifact, like another one-man artifact or a green spell to play along with this. If Meria resolves. If Meria resolves. If she resolves, I'm going to slap this on her as soon as fast as possible. Looks like she's getting countered. Okay, I will attempt to equip. Okay. Pretty close to that damage requisite here. Kind of slop, you know, kind of sloppy-ish so far here, unfortunately. I'm scared. I feel like they're just gonna kill everything. Got River's Rebuke, or okay, I'm just dodging like bullets. Chupe. Rude. It's gonna be a lot of treasures, guys, if all this goes through, because I have this here dragon, and it's gonna attack in, probably win, right? That's a good game. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, I guess it was a little bit slower, you know. But, I mean, it's still sick. It's a lot of damage, right? Free cast just gets in there. I would have made like 11 treasures, which is nice. Pretty good. Excuse me. So yeah, so I've been putting out some deck techs lately. I did spend a lot of time on that Greasefang deck, so the video turned out pretty good. Like, the lighting wasn't the best, but it is what it is, you know. Sometimes it's I mean, the deck was good. You know, I know the deck was fine. It's just kind of look back at some of my other deck techs that have done well, and that one, probably the quality could have been a little bit better. So try to be aware of that. I mean, I get really excited once I like put these decks together. So, you know, I just gotta get it out, man. I just got to do it, so definitely probably wait for the weekend to do that, so when I can get that natural light in, I can get a nice little up-close view, because I was looking at one of my other deck techs that did really well, and it was really focused, and I think the camera is capable of doing that. You know, I just need to kind of take my time on it a little bit, you know. So there's upside to casting Meria now. I can turn this into a mana rock. I can, you know, go into this, I can go into this, it really doesn't matter. So at least we'll have priority here. And this one seems pretty good, like this, just for the haste, you know? The haste seems pretty good to me right now. Just for the Savala, right? Hasty Savala seems pretty decent. If I don't like my draw next turn, I can start impulse drawing to the drawbridge, I guess. Might be a little risky. I could also get the Blizzard Blades going. I don't need land. I don't need really mana. I need these artifacts will help me impulse draw. This could give me some cards though with creatures. Guess like this. That's interesting. God, does it really matter? Because I'm going to equip it anyways, right? So what do I want to put on the top? What gives me the most gas? I mean, I guess it's the Dragonhawk, right? Okay. I might wipe, right? I might need to. Toxic D? Okay, it's sticky. Algavoth, oh shit. It's really scary. I actually don't have to top the Sylvala for mana right now. I can just go like this, right? Haste, please. And we're just kind of popping off, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm really playing Magic. I'm really playing Magic the Gathering here. Really doing it, guys. The opponents are giving the thumbs up. Love to see it. Okay, Jake, you're my last victim tonight. Bomb opening, absolutely busted. Seems good. This is very good against them, though. The Pro Blue. The plan is to get Meria out now. Because we do have uncounterability here with the Delighted Halfling, which is very strong for us. The next plan will be to get the sword out. Get Meria equipped with the sword, and then start to do the thing. Next turn, we can actually equip the sword. We can cast and equip, which would be very good for us. And they're going to be in very big trouble here. You could even consider a sneak attack, but we don't have enough mana to do all of that. We would need 5. So this is pretty easy here. 3 here, 2 there, sword, and bird down. Card. It's good gas. Just a double strike and vigilance. And they just left. I actually did have the mana for the sneak attack now because this adds 1. So even though I burked on the land, I could do that. I could have the Savage Ventmaw come out. I could add 6. And I could basically spew my hand out. perhaps set up an Outcaster Trailblazer, and then I could have, we'd have our draw step to go off of. We could probably, play Ragavan too, play our Patrick Banner. We'd have a lot of options, because we wouldn't lose the mana here. So it's great. And they just left, so. Alright guys, so that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for joining this. I know this deck will do good. I know this video will do good because this is a fantastic deck, guys. And we just built it. It was fantastic. What a great way to get into dragons and be excited about them. Is there anything like that you would do moving to your paper format? I suppose it's just kind of like the dragons maybe that you want to kind of utilize. There are some really, really good dragons, and obviously Old Gnawbone is kind of always there. You have like a Dragon Lord Atarka, which is I think a similar mana cost, and that has like an enter the battlefield trigger. I think about when it enters the battlefield, you deal 5 damage amongst targets. So that's pretty solid, like a pretty good enter the battlefield trigger. I don't have too much experience with a Heragast. So, that is a cast. You can emerge it, you can sacrifice other dragons you have to kind of, or other creatures, you can sacrifice them in order to cast the spell, which is actually pretty good gas. I think I do like the Heragast, because you did see we kind of like gassed out on the first game. It would have been nice to like sacrifice like one of those higher powered dragons to get in some more gasoline. So I think we do like the Heragast. Earthquake Dragon has got to be kind of up there too. It's just a strong dragon, just like a big body, It's definitely kind of there. I would say, the last dragon I would recommend before leaving today is the Tyrant's Familiar. That's grade A stuff. That could slot in for any of these dragons. You'd be very happy about it, even like for a Drakuseth. It's just more efficient. It doesn't require the haste, even though you saw we had like the haste enablers there and pretty good. And of course we can get, instead of this crashing drawbridge, you just add your lightning greaves and then you're ready to go. And then I think all these are great gas. Your Rishgars, your Last March, just a very strong tribe here. And obviously the Twin Flame Tyrant was a great finisher today, a great showing by the Twin Flame Tyrants, who are very excited about all these new cards. The other dragons that are just kind of stay out in my mind. Obviously you have the combo dragons like Hellkite Tyrant, of course, and that one also, basically you could sink mana into that and have additional combat steps. The thing about that one, which is tough, is that you need to pay the mana into it as you attack. You can't like pay with treasures after the fact. So that's what makes that one a little bit tougher, right guys? You definitely have to jump through a couple more hoops to get that one going, which is kind of unfortunate. But it's not to say that you can't do it. And it is kind of a win con. So that's always something to strive for, is kind of those interactions. But they are a little bit tougher. And they definitely get better when you're having like your aggravated assaults and such, to kind of, maybe assist into that maybe first. But I guess once you have this, it's just over anyways. This one's the better, probably the better one in slot, to be honest. But you might need just to that extra combat, and you might be able to just pay into it that one time, not continuously, but maybe that one time you have that 7 mana on the Hellkite Charger, and you can just get in for that, like that lethal damage. So that's good. That's probably the appeal to that card, and that's probably why it makes the cut as well. So in terms of like which ones you want to get rid of, obviously like a finisher like Craterhoof is hard to say to pass up. But is it a dragon? No, it's not. So, and maybe what we saw today, the dragons are just good on their own. So maybe we could just go like this and like have that as like our Hellkite Tyrant, and then when we find the Charger for like I'd say like one of these dragons that maybe aren't so hot, or maybe don't fit what we're doing. I mean, I suppose it could be like a Ancient Bronze Dragon is always an interesting one too. It would probably look good, pretty good in what we were doing today, which is really good for the Ancient Bronze Dragon. So I definitely don't think that would be it. It could probably be one of these little dragons, like an Atsushi. I like that we were able to cast Gadrick from that like nice little interaction in the early game. That was pretty cool. That was really snazzy. Maybe these value dragons kind of just chill here, and then we have like kind of move up into our big stuff, like our 5-drops, keep the throne and the sneak attack and the ring. Just have these weird little 4 drops here, and then drop in like a Hellkite Charger and a Tyrant's Familiar for like these 2, and then you're all set. Yeah, so it's something like this, and then your Lightning Greaves, and then you have a sweet deck. I really think so, guys. It's beautiful. Have a wonderful day, guys. I mean, leather armor. Is there better options? Commander's Plate. Yeah. Okay. See y'all.